All right, so we've got a new communications radio here. What we've got is the ICOM IC 2730A. Thought I'd do the unboxing here and then we'll take it out later and do some test fitting in the Power Wagon. So it's the first time the box has been opened. Got it for Christmas, haven't opened it yet. So got the registration and manual information here. Looks like we've got the actual mic here all bagged up with the cord. The actual head unit itself. It's a detachable, so we'll be looking at how we mount this somewhere I can reach it from inside the wagon, and then we'll be able to have the radio pieces hidden away. It's like another cord, likely the head unit to main unit cord. The actual power cord itself. Looks like the ends are already soldered up nicely. Fuse, and then a little double-sided tape for the mic mount itself. Here's the actual radio. Actually quite a bit smaller than I would have thought it would have been. We got a couple of speaker outputs as well, and then your controller and your mic inputs there on the front. You'll notice the ICOM unit, most of the accessories and things are separate. Got the extension cord here so we can remotely mount everything. We've got the controller bracket itself. There's a couple different models. I wanted to find something here that's a steel hard mount bracket. Comes with the bracket itself. I got a plan for that and the truck we'll go over later. And then the screws and whatnot for that bracket itself. That's the controller bracket. This is the actual mobile bracket for mounting the unit. This is also a separate accessory from ICOM as well. If you want to have some way to securely mount the unit, it comes with the bracket and then a whole array of different screws and it's like some lock washers and things there. Last thing, just because the truck is so large from a sound audio quality perspective, I did go ahead and get the external speaker. So we've got, looks like the actual lead wire here for that, and then the ICOM external speaker with a pretty good sized cord here as well. So we got some distance, we can separate that speaker, and let's say we got somebody to mount this. We've got a nice metal bracket. Looks like it's got some adjustment there. You can aim this up or down however you need it based on your mount. So we'll figure out where that's going to go in the truck as well. So that's all I've got. So again, this is the ICOM IC 2730A. It's the two-piece detachable head unit from the actual body itself. So we'll take you out in the truck and kind of go over what we're thinking for mounting. Thanks. Okay, so we are back in the truck and got a little bit of recon here on kind of what we're thinking for mounts. What I was hoping is that the actual remote display would sit up there in this kind of useless sun visor, and it looks like it will not only fit, but also if I'm really shallow on the mount, I can actually get this to close, which would be awesome for kind of a stealth mount. Should be able to snake the control wire. Might get a little interesting as we get the control wire up there. We'll have to see how that works, if we can actually close it or not. Worst case, we can kind of disconnect if we need to park the vehicle for a long time. Should be able to run the control wire up there. If you're familiar, this handle will pop off, and this whole assembly here will drop off. Might even be able to sneak it around the outside. That's kind of what I'm thinking for the mount itself, for the display. And then what I kind of been looking at for the actual main body unit is in the Power Wagon here. We've got this kind of jump seat set up, and down in the jump seat area, I've got some my winch control line, some other GoPro mounts and things. Thinking what I'll do is I will clear this out and mount that body itself down inside this little storage unit. Looks like there's a handful of screws, and that will probably pop right out of there. And my thinking there is I'll be able to drill a pass-through hole and snake some wires down in that area. Speaker wise, I'm thinking I'm probably going to look at mounting the speaker maybe down. It's a little tough to see right now, so let's see later. Got the GMRS Midland radio down there right now. Probably going to mount it down somewhere along this lip and see if I can get that speaker angle. This is kind of a useless space for me anyway. I never have anybody sit in the jump seat, so I could maybe mount it there, or see about somewhere down on my feet. Want to be somewhere kind of out of the way ideally, so I haven't quite figured out that mount yet, but that's a wrap. We will reconnect with you once we start the actual install. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We've modified our plan a little bit. We're going to have the unit underneath the passenger side. I've gone ahead and ran that head unit wire down underneath, up through, pass it through there, and the unit's sitting here. Plan is I ordered a little mount to screw into this panel right here, basically here, and I will give me a 45-degree angle that way. So the unit's just sitting right there for now. Did go ahead and run the power wire. It was able to pass through between the jump seat and the underneath the plastic piece there. So that's ran underneath there. It's underneath the driver's side right now. I've kind of expended my time for today. We're going to go ahead and call it. We got some other pieces and parts on order anyway, so that's what we're going to leave it for right now. All right, so we are fully installed now. So what we got is we've got the unit here underneath the passenger side seat. Gets hidden there pretty well. Was able to run all the cables down along the crack between the lower jump seat and that plastic. Was able to run the power there. Got the display mounted. Found this nice arm on from a radio site. Did have to go ahead and screw it into the plastic, but gives me an angled mount. Wish it didn't stick out quite so far. It's a little large, but definitely does the job. Check, just barely have clearance to get into 4 low there. And so that's all mounted up. Ran the cable for the antenna and all the power up underneath the driver's side. There's that plate on the RAM 2500 that gets you everything ran through there. A little better shot at the display and the mount there. Sorry, it's a little dark today. Trying to give you some light, but you can see it's a nice little mount. 3-way adjustable and everything. Did not end up needing the external speaker. With the radio mounted here, the speaker is plenty loud. So I didn't end up using the external speaker, which is nice because I don't have anywhere to mount it, and also didn't have to mount the run the extra cable for the actual mic, since the mic just plugs in on that unit right there on the side in that RJ45 jack. I'll show you the antenna here. I'll go on the other side in a second. So the mount on the outside, again, ran that cable through the firewall pass-through, and then I was able to find this nice bracket that gave me a nice mount there. Brackets never fit perfect. It does come in stainless steel, painted it black. Gives you a pretty low profile look to it. Painted it black. Had to bend the end on the inside just a hair, but no big deal there. So, but otherwise, antenna mount turned out nice. So we do have the ham radio now all mounted. Really next is to just go through and do the actual tuning. Got a cable to do the chirp programming headed in next week. May go ahead and tune up some of the itinerant channels we use for the recovery group, just as a short-term solution. See how difficult that is in the front display. But otherwise, I've got the tuning cable coming later in the week, and should be able to fully take the tunes and things I've got from my other radio and move them over to the now mounted radio. So that's it. I will make sure there's a description for all the parts and pieces in the description below in the YouTube video, and we'll look to do more video recordings, probably do a walk around of the truck and just kind of give you an update on where things are at now and where things are headed in the future.